Thank you, everyone, sorry for a little bit of the delay, but thanks everyone for hanging in there. Welcome to today's webinar. For everyone that isn't aware, my name is Galen. I am the Director of Applied Science at Felix Instruments. If you aren't familiar with our company, we develop and manufacture non-destructive devices that empower growers, packhouses, labs, and researchers to make smarter and more sustainable decisions in produce quality and research. Today, I'm really thrilled to have with me Dave Giannini, who is the Chief Software Architect at Apeel Sciences. And Apeel has been leading the way in reducing food waste through innovative solutions. And Dave has been instrumental in building the software and systems that enable their success. So, Dave, thanks so much for joining us.
Hey, Galen, thanks for having me today.
Yeah. So, can you tell us about Apeel's mission and how your technology helps growers and retailers address challenges in produce quality?
Sure, yeah. So Apeel was founded by scientists, and I'm a software engineer. I don't come from the biological or uh, other types of science that developed our product here at Apeel. But our mission is to reduce food waste. Our founder was troubled back when he was working on his postdoc about something like 40% of produce goes to waste, and he wanted to solve that problem. So yeah, he worked with a group of scientists, and they have a plant-based solution that can be used to treat produce and extend the shelf life and ultimately reduce food waste. I've developed software to help prove our claims of food waste reduction and have been working on that software for over 6 years. And through that, we learned a lot about the ripening behaviors of produce. And then we figured, wow, our software can be introduced into the supply chain to further reduce food waste.
Well, so what challenges have you had, I guess, in creating that proof of concept of this technology actually works? And what have you done, I guess, to seek new solutions or custom solutions for measuring that quality throughout that ripening stage of that produce?
Well, the first challenge, of course, was just, geez, what instrumentation should we use to help prove our claims of food waste reduction? And we have a whole variety. I have a lab full of instrumentations. Later, we looked at, well, what does the industry use to understand the ripening behavior? And this is the most common device in the industry. This is called a penetrometer. This is a handheld analog version. There's digitized versions as well, but they all have the same issue. The first thing that's done is you take an avocado as an example, and you have to scrape off the skin of the avocado. And then you take this penetrometer and you push it in and you get a reading. And I just pushed it a little bit so you can see, and you then have to read the number off of this penetrometer, write it down on a piece of paper or a spreadsheet, and you're recording that data to understand, how ripe your produce is. At that point, this piece of produce has to be thrown away. You've just punctured a bunch of holes into it, so you can no longer sell it. And it's a really common process throughout the supply chain where you have certain deliverables you have to meet in ripening by a supplier, a retail distribution center, and then at retail. And so we looked at different solutions that could help prevent the waste of food. The first one here is called a durometer. And this durometer, I'll go ahead and just turn it on and just kind of show you real quick. So it's booting up. And what this does is it produces a hardness value between 0 and 100. So I can push it down and I got a value of 75, and then maybe turn my avocado over, push it down again. There's a value of 77. That value changes as the fruit ripens. The issue that we found with this durometer is that it's really good on the softer fruit. So an avocado has stages of ripeness. Stage 1, rock hard, and stage 5, on the later side, it's definitely guacamole or it's gone bad. And so we want to accurately tell you, is it stage 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in ripeness? This thing's great at stage 3, 4, and 5. It's a little off on the harder stages. So this penetrometer is still being used at various locations in the supply chain for those harder stage fruit where you want to transition between 1 and 2. Well, we're looking at, okay, let's go find solutions that are non-destructive, and that's when we started to look at the spectrometer and in particular the Felix device.
Yeah. So with one thing, I guess, just off the bat, what you already demonstrated, avocado being a very heterogeneous fruit, right? I mean, anywhere you measure, you can't possibly measure the entire avocado all at once using any instrumentation out there right now. And so sampling in appropriate locations so you get an actual idea of the average of the fruit is something that's super important. We found and that carries over from not just this, kind of traditional technology, but all the way to the spectroscopy as well, right? So the spectroscopy isn't just a big X-ray device that scans the entire fruit in one go. Light only travels in a certain path length, and also only in a certain direction. And so, you mentioned like, obviously you using the durometer in the later stages, the softer fruit, the penetrometer is still in the early stages. So how does that spectrometer compare? Is it something that you're able to use across that entire range?
Yes. And that's the beauty of the spectrometer. We've trained it against all of the harder fruit data that we have with the penetrometer, and then we've trained it with all of the accurate data we get from the durometer. And now we have a solution with the spectrometer that's accurate for all stages of ripeness for an avocado.
Awesome. And being able to do that at all those stages enables not only the retail outlets, but also all the upfront, the pack houses and everyone, the storage people, the exporters, the importers, everyone in that whole stage to not have to then destroy their fruit, which is obviously aligns perfectly with the mission of both of our companies. The whole point of the technology and the whole point of your guys' technologies is to reduce that food waste. So before you approached us to assist with collaborating with creating these devices for you guys, what other technologies or companies did you guys explore, and what ultimately led you to collaborate with us?
Ah, shoot, I'm missing a show and tell device. Dret. I wanted to show you an early version of a spectrometer that we created, and we partnered with another company. It was a very expensive approach, not something I would advocate. We were just like, oh, what should we do here? And we probably should have done some more research. We set that solution aside. It's a really good solution, but the problem with that solution is, it was connected with wires for power and another wire into a tablet computer, and it wasn't mobile. So when we did a reset, because we knew the spectrometer was the right solution for us, we wanted to partner with a company that's providing, a solution today. And so we explored all the market leading solutions that are out there. In some cases, we would get one and we'd use it for a few months. We'd buy them. We have a whole bunch of them here in house now. And through our research, we discovered a couple of problems with the spectrometers in the industry. One is sometimes the spectra, it's not consistent. And so that was one issue we had to find and a solution for. The second is a lot of these devices, they come with modeling. So they'll tell you dry matter or firmness or bricks. And we would analyze the modeling and we would show that, oh, it has a bias, or it doesn't cover these different countries of origin or the varietals of the fruit that all make a difference in accurate measurements. So we realized, okay, so we need to partner with somebody who can give us great spectra, but allow us to do the modeling through um, our expertise in understanding of fruit and produce. And that's when we um, decided that, Felix, when we did our analysis, we felt that the best spectra in the industry was coming from the Felix devices. And so we went that route.
Well, on that note, let's kind of dive into how the collaboration between Apeel and Felix Instruments even began and how it evolved. Can you share the story of how our partnership took shape?
Yeah, sure. Um, I suppose there's a variety of stories since Apeel Sciences has been using Felix devices before I even started working at the company. But when I started and getting in through the software angle, I was at a conference last February showing off the spectrometer device that we had built in-house. And really good solution, accurate, but not mobile. Um, During that conference, this was in Berlin, Leonard Felix stopped by the booth and decided, "Hey, let me check this out." And so I showed it to him, and he was like, "Yeah, that's pretty cool." And he says, "Well, how come you're not using our device?" I don't know. Yeah, let's take a crack at it. And I was familiar with the Felix device, but also familiar with some of the problems that with data capture and the controlling of the device and the models and the bias and just the inherent problems from device to device variability. So we talked it through, and after the conference, we got on a call, met with Brian, one of the lead tech at, uh, that's working on the device with us, and just had really great conversations about how we would rework it to help solve this problem.
Yeah. So this solution is avocado specific, obviously, and it is based on the surrounding idea of using a similar-ish platform, a mobile platform to our F750 and F751 series, with a, a number of key modifications, right? And so not just hardware modifications, but software modifications, things, making it as I guess. Uh, Data transparent and available and easy to use for everyone and integrated, right? So integrated with all the IoT services that you guys provide. So one of the outcomes of this partnership is the integration of this technology, the Felix spectrometer-based technology, into your guys' Ripe Track system. So can you explain how this new device, this NIR device that we've built for you guys, works within your system and the benefits that it can bring to all the customers? And feel free to, I know you might want to do a demonstration as well. So if you want to do a demonstration, feel free to. But yeah, just walk everyone through how this device is going to work and what benefits it's going to bring now that it's integrated into your system.
Sure, let's do a demo. Let me see if I can get this set up so you can see. Okay, here we go. This is good enough. So here we have this is an Android tablet. Um, and, uh, and we have just an app running on this tablet, a couple avocados, and then here's the Apeel branded version of the Felix device. So the first thing to notice here is it's just a very clean interface. All the buttons are removed. The only button on the device right now is the power button. I'm going to also share my screen so you can see the tablet.
We
Okay, are you able to?
Yep. Anybody can see that AirDroid cast.
Okay, great. And so, are you able to see my mouse movement? For some reason, I can't see the screen.
Yes, we can see your mouse movement.
Great. So, on on this Android tablet, we have 3 versions of our app right now. This is our production version is the darker color. Our QA version is just pre-production, and then our dev version. Today, what I'm going to show you is our dev version. So I went ahead and I clicked on that icon, launching the app, right track, and it goes right in. It's very simple application. You have orders of fruit that you've received. You can create a new order and you just fill out the data that would be on the packing slip that comes with a load of produce. I'll cancel out of this. Once you have an order, I'll click on the Felix demo order that I created yesterday. So you can see the top here, this is all the order details. So just the order number would be off the packing slip, the date received again off, just in your system. The commodity type, our solution works for avocados, pears, mangoes, stone fruit, apples. So we're beyond avocados at this point. but today we'll show off the avocado solution. Country of origin, variety, size, these are all really important pieces of information to have accurate predictive modeling when doing firmness and dry matter. A lot of our customers have additional fields that they want to fill in, and so we support that as well. So, and then from there, you create inspections. I have some inspections that I've created. Here's a few I did yesterday. I did a spectrometer inspection where I can see from just the flash of light. We then are able to tell you it was at 29.6 pounds of pressure is how it would correlate to a penetrometer. This is a stage 2. These avocados I have today, yeah, they're pretty hard. They've been ripening for the last day, so we'll do a quick test here and see where they're at today. But the spectrometer compares with the penetrometer. You can see that there's high accuracy here, both coming back at stage 2. Let me create a new inspection now. And I'm also going to turn on the spectrometer. One of the things I really enjoy about this Felix device is how quickly it'll just turn on and power up. Many of you are used to a computer when you're turning it on. It sometimes to take, a few minutes, you go get a cup of coffee. So here it's already on, ready to go. And I don't know if you can see it very well, but we've changed the screen. And right now,
Actually, Dave, we can't see the instrument at all. We're still on your Aircast screen.
oh, I see. Aren't able to see my
Simultaneous video and screen share, it looks like.
here, let me go ahead and stop sharing for a bit to show this.
Okay.
Okay, so you can see my screen now. Okay, and see it has the word idle on it. And we've changed this. We worked with Felix to change the screen so it gives you really good information about state. So it's idle. When it's Bluetooth connected, it'll switch to ready. And then when you're measuring, it'll show measuring. It has auto detect features, so I can set it up through my mobile app to auto detect when I place the avocado on top and collect the measurement. I'll go ahead and I'll try to do this instead of a screencast. See if we can just get these side by side. You can see everything right here. So I've created I have my inspection here that I'm filling out. And the first thing I do is I click the type of inspection. And I know you can't read this, but this is customized for each customer. There's a durometer inspection, a penetrometer inspection. I also have an inbound spectrometer. That's the one I'm going to select. Inbound is when the distribution center is receiving a load of avocados in this case. I can specify the number of samples. How many avocados do I want to test? I'm going to go ahead and set that. It defaults to 10. We recommend, about 20 per pallet to help with the accuracy. Today, I'm just going to go with 2. We then have the number of samples or number of measurements per sample. We advocate 3 for the best accuracy. As you pointed out, Galen, it's a difficult problem to have accuracy if you just do a single analysis. So we've settled on 3 after a lot of work. There's additional information I can capture, but at this point, I'm going to go ahead and click this button at the bottom. It's called Create Inspection. And I can review my data. There's some more fields I can add, but I can then start to take measurements. Now watch the spectrometer here. I'm going to click on Take Measurements. The first thing is it has to go find the spectrometer. So it's scanning for devices that are in my area. It's already found it. And the spectrometer says, yep, connected, ready to go. Device connected here. Now I'm at the button to calibrate. So you're all familiar, if you've used this device, the importance of calibration for accurate measurements. We've done a lot of work on the calibration to keep it as fast as possible, but give us the most accurate measurement data as possible. So I'm going to go ahead and click Calibrate, and it's performing that calibration, and then it's done. It just takes about 3 seconds. Once I've calibrated, now I can do a measurement session, do 20 or 30, 40 avocados. and not have to spend that time with calibration on every single measurement. I'll go ahead and click start. And here you can see I've got 2 samples, and I'm going to do 3 measurements per sample, but I'm also going to show you the spectra as I take those samples. I'm going to click the start detect and put the spectrometer into auto detect mode. So it's telling me it's detecting now. I'm going to go ahead and grab my avocado, place it on top. It's now measuring. And it takes, then it's done. I get an audio feedback here, so I don't have to even look at my app. I can just operate with the spectrometer and just continue to collect data. Turn the avocado about a third and just measuring on the meaty sides here. And it's measuring, takes a few seconds and there. So now this spectra, when you start to work with produce, it'll have a signature. I know I can just look at this and go, oh, that's an avocado. When I'm working with pears, I know, oh, that's a pear. And that's something new that we've introduced here that helps you with data accuracy. So I'm going to give you an example here. I'm going to put the avocado on. It's measuring. I see the light. I pull it off early. And now I'm going to go back to this. And now I have spectra. And you can see that there's something off with my spectra. So right away with this mobile app, I can detect when I've made a mistake through data collection and correct my, I'll go ahead and delete it and correct and then get accurate data. Because that accurate data, that's half the problem with an accurate model. All right, I'm going to zip through these real quick here and just get you some samples. So one of the things we're still working on, the measuring to collect the spectra and deliver it to our app is taking about 6 seconds. I'd like to speed that up. And so this is work in progress here. Okay, so I've got one avocado completed. I just moved right over to the other avocado. I have to make sure I don't put the sticker on there.
Yep.
All right. 2 more measurements. Bear with me. Okay, 1 more to go. And we'll get an audio signal that tells me that I'm completely done. This one might come out with spectra that's not so good. I don't know. That's good enough. Okay, so now I can review the spectra, make sure it looks good. I'd have, a whole series of samples here typically. Now I'm going to click Save Session. I'm going to switch over to the share screen mode again now, so you can see this a little better for this next part. All right, able to see my screen okay?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to click the Save Session here. Now it's taking all of that data, it loads it up into the cloud, we run our predictive model, and then we're going to get our result here. And so now it's completed. For this particular analysis, it's still a stage 2 avocado. And then, yes, it is stage 2. I'm holding it and feeling it, and I'm familiar with, the hardness of an avocado. The pressure here, 23.46. So it's still pretty hard. And then dry matter, 20.99%. That's the other value add here of using this spectrometer. In spec, this is a work in progress. We don't quite have this right yet, but for the pressure, we're looking for 50 to 70 Shore. We don't want to show Shore. We're going to change this. So this is a little bit of a work in progress here. But we're looking for something that's between, I think it's 6 to 10 pounds of pressure is what would be the ripe avocado. I can go ahead and click on my order, and now you can see that I've got this new inspection added to my list. So it was at 29, now it's at 23. You can see it's ripened over that day, but it's still got a ways to go.
Wow, that's a pretty incredibly powerful app. Lots and lots of data, great data. It seems pretty user intuitive, easy to use. And like I just said, a wealth of information in there and lots of stages for control as well, which I think everyone really would appreciate, is being able to actually see their data and know when they made a mistake right away instead of finding out later on that they accidentally approved a inbound lot that they shouldn't have. But yeah, that's pretty impressive. I noticed really quick that you're reporting median as your instead of mean. Is that mostly as a means of uh, eliminating the effects of outliers and stuff like that, or is the
Yeah, that's part of it. We've played around with both and settled it on median at this time. We'll adjust it based on the customer if they have a preference.
okay, yeah, if they have a specific need, then you can obviously change it. And so you guys, this obviously this app platform. You mentioned that some customers, not everyone, it's almost impossible to develop something that's going to work for everyone, even in a regulated, controlled industry like avocado industry. Like, there's always going to be people that need very unique, specific things, and so that's obviously something that you guys are taking into account and being able to be flexible with specific customers to say this is what they need. We can add those fields, we can add that, or those features. We can change the specifications. We can change the how we report the statistics, things like that. It sounds like is something that you guys are obviously going to be pursuing with individual customers.
That's right. And there's one other aspect I wanted to share with you. It's this field here as well. That's part of our summary. It's the model accuracy, and you want that to be green, a green check. Right now it's yellow, and the reason it's yellow is the device that I'm using is a brand new one that we received from Felix last week. And so we still have to do a little more training. And so what we're trying to do is give the user of this device um, a little bit more information. Today in the industry, when there's bias, it's up to the user to detect it and then figure out how to fix it. Our solution is to let you know that, hey, because of a new varietal or a new country of origin or a new device and dealing with device to device variability, we're going to give you some info. You can click on this link, learn about what the issue is, and then you can go and let's see here. If you perform additional inspections with a penetrometer or a durometer to get the accurate result, we'll then auto train the model against that device so that you have an accurate solution.
That's a really powerful thing to have, and I hope everyone kind of understands that it like you said, it is up to the user right now to understand how these models really work when they use these kinds of systems, to know that sometimes their biases will be present, and it could be due to regionality, seasonality, variety, like you mentioned, size, the stage of maturity, or the stage of ripeness, like all those different factors, all those variables, play into the robustness of these predictive models. And so, yeah, it is very powerful to be able to show the users, whether or not this model requires a bias adjustment or something like that, or needs additional training to be able to be more robust in its predictions. So that's really awesome. So all this data that you're providing, obviously for your customers, is incredible. But data obviously plays a huge role at Apeel as well for your guys' decision making processes. And so I was wondering if you can expand on how you're using this data to optimize your fruit coatings and your other solutions. Are you actually utilizing this yourselves? I would assume yes, but I'm going to let you expand on that.
Yeah, it's definitely part of our treatment process. The way that we treat produce to extend shelf life, for me anyway, when I watch it, it's like magic. It's like sprinkling a little water on the produce, and it just lasts, 2 times longer. And so we feel we always have to prove our claims, and it's just part of our treatment process to periodically perform audits to prove claims. And we're looking to make that as streamlined as possible, reducing the overhead and the workflow and trying our best not to destroy fruit along the way. So yes, it's a part of our everyday process.
Yeah. Um, just curious, what has been the response from industry partners who've tested or seen demonstrations of this technology?
There's a fun story I can tell you. It occurred yesterday in Colombia, where we have somebody on site with our mobile app and the Apeel branded Felix device at an avocado conference in Colombia. So our representative speaks English. the two people he was demoing for, they speak Spanish. And then we had a salesperson with him as well who spoke both English and Spanish. The the customer for this device or for this solution, they didn't realize that our sales guy spoke Spanish. So they got the whole demo and saw it, and then in Spanish, they said to each other, "This is it. This is exactly what we've been looking for." And then they found out that, "Oh, yes." So that was wonderful validation, trying to find a device that gives you accuracy, but if it's not accurate, it lets you know, and it gives you a really simple way to do a little bit of training, and then you can get back to your non-destructive workflow. Wait.
Yeah, that's great to hear. And I'm assuming you guys have plans to be at Fruit Logistica again in 2025, right? And we'll probably see you there as well. But yeah, there'll be plenty of opportunities for more people, I'm sure, to be able to see your technology live here in the near future, as this has been a work in progress for quite some time now. And now that it seems like you guys are, getting to that point where you're ready to actually start, putting it in the hands of some beta users and things like that. So it will be a really exciting time. As you're looking forward into the future, are there any other trends or innovations that you're specifically excited about in the produce industry that you've seen?
Yeah, I suppose that it seems like to some extent it's an analog industry that's digitizing itself, and these types of solutions are just the right answers going forward. So it's a good time to be involved in this space.
Yeah. I think the discussions that have, been around in the horticulture industry and other industries is, mostly surrounding both food waste, but also traceability, right? Throughout the supply chain, being able to trace an individual piece of produce throughout its entire journey from the grower all the way to the consumer, and being able to tell the consumer exactly what they're eating. And that's something that I think that's really cool that, a lot of companies have a lot of avenues to kind of get into that space, and I'm really excited to see what kind of really cool innovations come out of that desire for and that trend. But yeah, well, I just wanted to say thank you guys. Oh my gosh, that's a very cute dog. But thank you so much for joining us today, and really appreciate you showing the technology, showing your guys's developments, and the platform looks amazing. We're really glad that we were able to pursue this collaboration. And I want to thank everyone for joining us for today's webinar. And so if you have questions that you about Apeel, and their technology solutions, their coding solutions, anything, feel free to reach out to them directly. You can also reach out to us and we'll send you forward to our contacts there. But they're doing amazing stuff. So please, if this is something that interests you, reach out to them. If you have any interest, if your company or if your enterprise, or if you as an individual grower or packer is interested in customized solutions with spectroscopy, or if you're interested in just learning more about our devices, then please reach out to us directly as well. I believe Susie will be putting a link in the chat there. And yeah, really, again, thank you, Dave, so much. I'm really excited to see that, together we're making these strides towards a more sustainable and efficient future for the produce industry. So everyone should stay tuned for more updates. And yeah, we'll see you next time. It looks like we do maybe have a question here that we potentially could answer. Jack Ingles wondering if you have a product which can slow ripening of bananas.
We do.
Well, that's excellent news, Jack. If you want to reach out to Apeel, then I'm sure they can give you more information about their banana ripening solutions and storage solutions. I guess would be more appropriate because they aren't the ones trying to ripen it. But yeah, so thank you, everyone. I don't see any other questions in the Q&A, Dave. So feel free to log off if you want. And like I said, thank you so much, and we'll be in touch, obviously, as we continue to develop this product with you guys. So, really excited.
All right. Well, great. Thank you so much, Galen, for giving me the opportunity to show off the fun stuff that we've been working on here.
Yeah, absolutely. Have a great day.
You too. Bye bye.